Radical starts.
Radical start. Yeah, that's nice. Yes, nice. Yeah. Who's going to win?
Probably the States, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not that confident.
He's not agreeing.
Assuming he knows nothing about that.
And nothing about football, so.
No, you try and make polite conversation.
Then he can start off.
Arne, just to check first of all, how is Giovanni Leone? What's the prognosis there? And on the flip side of the disappointment for him, does it also open up a place in the Champions League squad for Federico Chiesa now?
Yeah, the last thing is true. And the first thing, he's not in a good place, of course, because he tore his ACL, which means that he will be out for around a year. So, being so young, coming to a new country, playing so well in your first game, it's very hard to take the positive side. No, there's never a positive side, but yeah, you always try to look at a positive side, and that is that he's still so young, so that he has so many years still to go after he recovers from a terrible injury like that.
How much of a blow is it for you? I know you're talking about the human being there, but also squad-wise, because you face Crystal Palace this weekend, and I suppose with Mark Gay lining up in their side, there might be a sense of what might have been given what happened on transfer deadline day.
Yeah, but I don't think 2 or 3 days before, 1 day before we play them to talk about that again. He's a Crystal Palace player, and he's been very important for them as long as he's there. So we have to prepare for Crystal Palace, who are a very good team. I think they haven't lost 17 games in a row now, and he's part of that team. So difficult team to beat, but we are also a difficult team to beat, as we've shown when we played against each other, because we've beaten them once with 1-0 and twice it was a draw. And we have more than enough options to replace, if needed, a player at the centre-back position, because of course we've got Virgil, Joe and Ibu, and other options if needed.
Is Alexander-Isak ready to start now? Obviously thinking with no Hugo Ekitike in particular.
Yeah, he's able to make minutes again. I still feel 90 is depends also on the pace and the intensity of the game, but that might be a bit too much. But not only that, also for the long term, so you can't give a player maybe one, I would call stupid hit to bring him to 90, and then his body is completely, you brought him too far over the line. So I don't think it's smart to play him 90 yet. But yeah, he's further into his pre-season now, and normally after 2 or 3 weeks in pre-season, players go to 60, 70 minutes, and in some clubs they even bring them to 90. But if you look at our pre-season, we mainly bring them to 60 to 70 minutes then.
Just check on Hugo as well, because there'd been a report that he'd been disciplined over his sending off the other night. Has he been fine or anything like that?
No, if discipline means that I spoke to him, then it's discipline, but I don't think that is disciplined. So discipline means fine, and that he didn't got. So it wasn't very smart what he did. What he recognized himself immediately, straight away. So he said sorry straight away to his teammates. And he's young. Players of all ages do make mistakes, and that's what he did in this situation as well. But we all make mistakes, and you're allowed at this club to make a mistake without immediately getting fines or these kind of things. He's a fantastic human being. I think if you talk to all the staff members and you would ask them a top 3 of the warmest persons and the most polite persons, I think he's in every staff member's top 3. So even if he wasn't a person like this, he was able to make a mistake, but wasn't smart. It didn't hurt us Tuesday evening. It might hurt us a bit more tomorrow. The positive thing is that Federico Chiesa showed that he is he's showing himself at the moment. So it's also a chance for him now to be on the bench, and maybe he kept playing minutes with Hugo not being there.
Thank you.
Hello again, Arne. Your next point that you pick up will be your 100th Premier League point for Liverpool. If you do it in the next 4 games, you'll be the fastest in club history to have done that in your first whatever matches. So what do you think that maybe you've learnt over the previous 99 points here at the club?
Ooh. What did I learn? I think a lot. This has nothing to do with your question, but one of my frustrations is that I don't know if it's the same in England, by the way, but we as managers, we have to get points to keep having our badge. Is that the way you say it? So to stay a manager in Holland, you need every 3 years you need to do some schooling. Schooling, is that the right word?
Yeah, education.
Education, yeah, to stay manager. I find this ridiculous because I learn every single day, I improve every single day. I don't need to go to a course to learn if you are working. So I don't know if it's the same in England, but every 3 years we need to do this. Otherwise, you cannot stay.
You need badges here as
Yeah,
well,
yeah. But if you've done it, do you need to every time
have to do a refreshing
educate
course.
refreshing courses? Yeah. Now, for me, every day is a refreshing course. So I'm a bit surprised that we need to do this. So yeah, yes, I've learned a lot, but not only here at Feyenoord and at AZ Alkmaar as well. I cannot come up with one specific thing, maybe what I've learned, but if you have to make every single day 10, 15, 20 choices, not all of them are good. Definitely not. So you learn every single day, and I cannot come up with one specific thing.
So Crystal Palace again, and you'll see them again in the Carabao Cup soon also. You're the only two teams that are unbeaten in the Premier League this season. What is the biggest threat that they have against stopping Liverpool continuing that run?
Discipline. They have an enormous discipline defensively. 10 outfield players plus a goalkeeper that work so hard to prevent the other team from scoring. And we saw this also in the Charity Shield, even the moments when we were up, they could still be very disciplined and calm in their own half, in their mid to low block. We saw this during the week when we played Southampton, who were disciplined against us, how hard it is to play through them. So and apart from that, but that's for every team in the Premier League, they have some individual quality, some individual players who are a big threat offensively. Mateta is one of them. Sar, who wasn't available last week but might be available this week again, was really good against us in the Charity Shield. Two midfielders that know how to play. Yeah, and good centre back, so good wing backs. So a good team, but that is what I would say every Premier League team has. But what maybe stands out for me with them is their discipline in their defensive work.
Great, thank you.
Hi Arne, you're looking to keep your perfect start to the Premier League season intact. Has it taken even you by surprise, and what do you put it down to?
Surprise is maybe a bit too strong to say, but if you would have asked me that after playing Newcastle away, Arsenal at home and all these difficult games we had, that we would have the maximum result, I would have probably told you, ooh, that is, I would sign for that straight away, which is normal. But if you look at the games, they were all of them, not all of them, most of them were quite close. So we might have been a bit lucky as well to get the maximum points. Although I was just saying about the work rate of Palace, we work incredibly hard as well, and if you work as hard as we do, you give yourself the chance maybe to be a bit lucky, if you would call it luck then. And I don't think we stole a win. It wasn't as if we totally not deserved it, but there were games that a draw would have been maybe more fair. So yeah, looking at the schedule we had, I'm more than pleased that we have the maximum points.
And Rio Ngabo will be his first contract as well. He's still so young at 17. Do you have to work about keeping expectations down, or are you just happy to let him go for it?
Now the good thing is, if you are a youngster playing at Liverpool, there are players where you are playing with who are still better than you are. And that I think helps to stay grounded and to know there are still steps to make. If you are playing at maybe a club of a lower level and you are that good as Rio, you maybe belong straight away to the best players of the team, and that can lead to maybe a situation where he's not as grounded as he should be. But here that's not a problem at all. First of all, because who he is, he's a player that constantly wants to improve. But if you train and play with other wingers like Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah and Federico Chiesa and all the others, then then I think he feels that there's still a step to make. First of all, to get to their level, and if he is at their level, then it's about being as consistent as these players are, and that is the most difficult thing. Become really good is something a lot of players maybe can do, but become consistently really good is what why the top players stand out.
Arne, just on Giovanni, obviously devastated at the minute. How important are people like Virgil and Joe Gomez both suffered the same injury later on in their career, and how important are they going to be in terms of rehab, and also as an example for him of it feels like the end of the world at the minute, but you can come back and be just as good as you were before.
Yeah. No, I think that last thing definitely helps, and we have some examples of that with Virgil and Joe, and there are a lot of examples all around the world. That's why I said the positive thing is that he's still 18, so he has still a lot of time to go. If you get an injury like that when you're close to your retirement, it makes it much more difficult maybe, but in both situations it's far from ideal. I think the main and most important thing is the surgeons who's going to do the surgery, then second of all the ones that do the recovery, the rehab with him. But then it's always nice if you can do this in a surrounding with players that have lived through this as well. They can give you the right energy maybe in certain moments. And I think our players already showed in the last 2 days a lot of compassion, right, towards him, and they will not stop doing that in the upcoming year.
You mentioned at the start about Federico Chiesa possibly coming into the Champions League squad. Is that something you have looked into and started that process perhaps?
Yeah, we've looked into this. I don't know. I cannot tell you exactly where that process is at the moment. Do you know?
Not sure.
You're not sure as well. So that is not something I do myself. There are other people doing this. But if I'm informed correctly, if a player has a longer than 2-month injury, you are able to replace him. That's what they've told me, and now we have to see if it's true or not. But other people are looking into that.
That's one on that.
Hi, Arne. You've spoken before about Crystal Palace and how hard they work to stop other teams scoring goals. I think they've only conceded 3 in their 8 games in all competitions this season. How much confidence do you take from your scoring record in the Premier League? I think it's 39 consecutive games, and not only that, 11 different scorers already this season, so you've got attacking weapons all over the pitch.
Yeah, we do, but even we find it very hard to score goals against them. In the 3 games we've played them twice, we only scored 1 goal, and in one time that was enough for the win. And once we scored 2, but they scored 2 as well. So it's a difficult team to score goals against. The good thing for us is, if you tell me now that they've probably kept a few clean sheets then as well, if they only conceded 3, that we were till now able to score against them. But they've improved, especially compared to the first time we played them. That was the beginning of last season. Yeah, we have, that's true, players that can score goals. We have the quality as a team to create chances for our front 3 players or front 4 players. Yeah, it's because of the way they play, the way they line up with a 5-2-3 or whatever you want to call it, 5-4-1. It's not easy to create, and that's why when we create, it would be smart then to score as soon as we can.
Could be another late goal then. You've got to have patience against a team who are working as hard as they are to stop the opponents from scoring goals.
Yeah, but you can only score a winner in the end if you worked as hard as we always do to prevent the other team from scoring as well, because otherwise you're already 2-0 down. Because you do see teams that attack a lot, that get frustrated a bit, and then in transition don't sprint back as hard as we do, but we just keep working and keep understanding that we can still win the game in the end as long as it's then 0-0 or 1-1 or 2-2. And therefore we work really hard, and that is one of our strengths, and that's what we have to bring to every game, especially if we face Crystal Palace, who are a big threat on the counter-attack, because they are so disciplined in defense and then can come in transitions really fast, and they're a big threat in set pieces as well. So 2 things we have to be really ready for.
Thank you guys.